What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? Podcast about life in the music industry. I'm your host, Patrick Tarnowski. With me always is my best pally wally, Matt Reed. And today, we got Joey from freaking Oklahoma pop punk band Cliffdiver on the show. Joey, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm super pumped to be here.
Super jazzed. We're really enjoying the new album. It's awesome.
Hey, thank you. It is my favorite album we've put out so far.
Well, yeah. That's the goal, right?
I mean, it's the only album we put out so far, but it's my favorite one. I think it's pretty good.
But I think that should also the goal, you know? You should always be super jazzed on your new stuff and be like, we put out this new album and it's all right. It's not as good as our last one, but
right. I get too into our new music where it's like on my Spotify repeat like every year the most played, because right when the song comes out, I'll listen to it over and over over, try and pick out parts I wish I'd written differently and stuff like that. The classic.
I think that's like almost every musician though has their, at least in their top on repeat, and then you're super jazzed for your Spotify Wrapped and you want to check it out, and half of it is just
your band.
My band. Awesome. Cool. I wish there was a way you could just cancel that out a little bit. Be like, well, just don't count my shit.
Yeah, it's always Cliffdiver and Taylor Swift on my Wrapped, and I'm like, whatever, man. It's who I am.
At least you got some T-Swizz on there.
It's true. I'm a Swiftie. Not as hardcore as some, but I'm a big fan of Taylor. I hope to become famous enough where she can write a song about saxophone emo one day.
I like it. That's a very good goal. Maybe Taylor, you could get to the point with Taylor like Owl City did, where you guys can write like songs to each other.
There you go.
That's too much pressure, because she can be much more eviscerative with her wordplay than I can. So if it goes south, like, I don't want to be on the receiving end of a mean or something like that, a Dear John, or All Too Well. I can't be that guy. I don't want lore. All those guys have lore. There's T Swift lore. Like, I host musical bingo, and we did a Taylor Swift night the other night, and this girl was telling me lore about every song. She's like, well, this is about this guy, Stephen James. He works for blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? How do you know all this stuff? Why do you know all this stuff?
You got to get deep into the Swiftie dark web.
Right? The wiki, the Swiffy, or Swifty. There's no good way to say that. Swicky? Swicky's all right.
Swikipedia?
Swikipedia is not bad. It does sound slightly white nationalist, though, if we're being honest.
Oh, yeah.
Swift the line there.
Swiftipedia.
And for that reason, I'm out. Yeah.
Well, Swiftipedia.
Swiftipedia is pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's make millions.
All right.
We can make our own lore.
We'll start it, and we'll make our own lore for each other, but I'll write yours. You write Matt's.
Yeah.
Matt, you're on me.
Oh.
So we'll each write each other's. It'll be great. We'll get really deep into it, very Tolkien almost.
You speak my language. I have Lord of the Rings Pez dispensers over there on my wall, so that's the cool person I am.
I have toys behind me, so we're good.
yeah, we're like-minded individuals.
You're like, I have cases of toys. I got you. We're good.
Dude, we're of the generation where it's like, everything kind of sucks. Nothing is what we were told it would be. So I'm gonna spend my money on the things that make the serotonin machine go.
Yeah, I mean, bring me back to when I was a kid.
back before. Back before Pepperidge Farm remembers.
It was the only time that things were happy.
The 90s were wild. Yeah, it would have been a lot easier to be in music probably in the 90s, but it's the rest of it. I like having a smartphone.
Yeah.
Yes.
It makes a lot of things easier. But I miss riding a bike to your friend's house and seeing if their bike was outside
Right.
to know if they're home or not.
Playing street hockey. It's a good
Mhm.
time. Good time. Bloody times, you know, all the 12-year-old testosterone.
Kids these days don't even know what like bloody knuckles is. Come on.
Bloody knuckles. Dude, it was just we all got abused, I think, like all the way down the line. And I'd be like, I was talking to my son, I was like, so people don't just like pull you into classrooms and like beat you up. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, we had different childhoods. That's good. That's good. That's what I want for you.
Yeah, you and your friends don't play lumberjack or anything anymore?
Yeah, you can eat bananas in public. That's cool, man. Like it's a new world. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't do that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, you like popsicles? Cool. Well, don't. You know, not in 1997. You better not.
Not for us.
Just triggering all the memories I had suppressed.
Right.
30
It's like,
years.
Matt's like, I thought I was okay to eat popsicles now.
No,
I'm married. I could do what I want.
I could do what I want now.
I'm an
That's
adult.
right. You're right. You're right. You're a man. You're 40. You can do what you want.
We're adults. We're our own bosses.
Well, someone needs to get fired then, because you know this is not being well maintained over here. There's no business plan. You know, we're shutting down departments left and right. Their layoffs are imminent, I'm sure.
Should never have left us in charge.
It was a terrible mistake. Whoever did it.
So, speaking of exercise your demons, you released the album last May featuring the singles, you know, New Vegas Bomb, Lost in IKEA. How's the response been for the album over the past year?
It's been pretty cool. I mean, to be able to do what we've got to do over the last year and coming up this summer, being a band from Oklahoma, you know, not that easy to get out of the state if you don't know people. It's a tough one. So to be able to do these coast to coast tours on one album and have people buying it all over and telling us that it meant something to them has been incredible. I mean, it's mind blowing. It's often really surreal. We've been home for, you know, about 5 months now since we've been out on the road, and during that time you kind of forget that you've worked so hard on all this music, and then you know the album just turned a year old last week before, and people were sending me messages about, you know, what it meant to them, and you sometimes forget that once you release something, it's not really yours anymore. You know, and to hear that something that was so personal for us as a band, all kind of coming together and writing about our fears and our hopes and our dreams, and unbeknownst to me at the time that I needed to quit drinking. But it's been really cool to see people take the journey with us, because that's kind of what the album is. You know, to us, it's a story of grief and recovery and hope. Even though you may not have it figured out, but the idea of continuing despite the overwhelming odds being stacked against you, I think, is something that a lot of people need now more than ever, because everything is so precarious. Everything is so, you know, everything feels so brittle, like it's all on the brink of falling apart again, of collapsing, and people need to be told that they'll be okay, even if they're not. I mean, like, it's the life of Pi at the end of the book. He says, sure, maybe that's not what happened, but what story would you rather believe? Because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. It's like, I'd rather believe that I'm going to be okay, even if nothing else is saying that. But like being able to go to places like Boston and talk about hope and talking about sobriety and stuff like that, and see these, you know, big tough dudes break down in emotions and be like, no one's ever said that to me before, and just being like, no one's ever told you like you're gonna be okay before, and he's like, no, what do you mean? I'm like, no, why would they? And you're like, well, you are. Like it's and like we spend a lot of time crying at the merch booth with fans, and I'm an emotional dude. I cry on stage all the time. They make fun of me. I can't help it. I get overwhelmed with beautiful moments, and so like people will be telling me about, you know, what these songs have meant to them telling me these deep, super emotional, intimate stories, and I'm the one who's crying, not them talking about like this super dark time. I'm the one who's like, oh my god, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Anytime anyone's like, I totally resonate with like some of these songs, I just feel bad for them. I'm like, oh no. If someone's like, oh,
I
Water
don't
Temple,
want you to.
yeah, they're like, oh, Water Temple, that's my song. I listen to it all the time. It's how I think, and I'm like, you poor bastard.
Yeah.
Well, just know that you're not alone, and so
Right.
I think it's been really special. It's cool being not having joined a band really since I was till I was 30. Being able to kind of have this surprise second act that I've always wanted
Hmm.
has also been really neat, and to be able to do it with some of the funnest, most talented, hilarious people I know is a privilege. So I think we're all kind of just we're humbled, we're grateful, and we're pumped to see where it takes us past here.
Hell yeah. I think it's so important. Like, and I love that it is much more commonplace to be able to talk about, mental health and struggling and stuff like that. Just because, you know, as you were saying, like, man, I don't want you to feel that way, like I don't want you to resonate with it, but it's good to know that other people do, because everybody can, get depressed, and everybody gets sad.
Sure.
And, it's important to know that you're not alone. When you feel like that, you do feel alone. So hearing,
And a lot of people didn't know how that felt until the pandemic hit. Like a lot of people, neurotypical people, didn't know what that kind of fear and anxiety and depression felt like.
right,
So those of us who've been struggling in the trenches for 20, 25 years, it's easy to get into a game of comparison of like, oh, poor baby, like, oh, the first time anything didn't go your way. Like you have to dig past that and find that empathy and realize that
Mhm.
like to them this is the worst thing that's ever happened to them. Like you don't
Mhm.
get to tell them that this isn't traumatic because it is
Right.
to them. Like sure, in some cases not fully realized, of course, but like we all feel this feeling of something is wrong, something is not right in the heart of society, and that's a scary thing when you realize that, and you realize that um things are so hard, and no one prepares you for that. No one prepares you to be an adult. You're just 13, and then all of a sudden you got a mortgage, and you're like, what?
How do I
Wait
pay
a
for
second.
this?
Wait a second. Who's paying for this? Is it
Yeah.
me? 'Cause
That's me.
once again, I have questions about our finances.
Yeah. I speaking of like adult things, I have never been one to watch like the news or anything like that. But my wife watches the news every morning, and I'm just like, God, it's so depressing and scary. Like I don't want to be an adult. Like I don't want to see this shit.
Well, it's like, what do you stay? You can't stay focused on any of the terrible, horrible things that are going on because then in the next second, it's like breaking news. Here's something even worse. Oh,
Yeah.
did you forget about this? Here's some, fucked up dismantling of democracy in these states. Oh, well, that's too bad. Somebody else just got shot at a mall today. Oh, now trans kids are illegal in Oklahoma. Oh, shoot, someone else got shot. And so it's like, when can you focus on anything? Like it's all so heavy. Like there's a level of innate disassociation throughout our entire populace of just having to separate, having to not focus on the calamitous nature of existence and being like, let's keep up with the Kardashians. Sure, because that's easier than fucking feeling really what's going on. It's easier for me to know every statistic about a sports team from a different city than I live in than it is to like really figure out what's going on. Like cuz it's heavy and it's
Mhm.
hard. And we need people to tell us that it's going to be okay. I need people in my life to tell me it's going to be okay. It's a constant stream of the duality of ignoring it all and then fixing what you can. It's a tough one.
Absolutely.
What song off Exercise Your Demons means the most to you, and why?
So probably the first song we wrote on the album was Death is a Wedding. I was having this dream, this nightmare, basically, this haunting kind of thing of somebody who had died and I'd been in love with, and basically would show up and tell me that I would always be unloved and alone, and the easier solution would be to just go be with her, because at least I would be loved and I wouldn't be alone. And so it's like right at the beginning of lockdown, and I'm having this dream like every night. And so I text Matt, my guitarist, who writes all the music pretty much for the band. He's a genius. Can't tell you the chords he plays, but he can shred, and it doesn't make any sense. But I'm like, dude, I've been having this dream. I need you to write me something that's heavy. I need you to write me something heavy. And so I wrote these 2 verses, and we didn't have anything else. We wrote these 2 verses to that song. And, I sent them to Bree before she was even in the band. We were just friends. And I sent her those verses, and she was like, oh, holy shit, this song's awesome. Like, it's going to be huge. I'm just glad to know you. And that was a fun full circle moment later when, she wrote the kind of chorus, and I was like, well, this is your song now too. Like, but I think that song began this unpacking of this grief and this trauma that I hadn't really dealt with, from this loss that I'd avoided and, tried to party away, try to drink away, try to search the cosmos through way too much acid, and almost died in a time loop. Fake front teeth. It's a long story. It's for a second podcast visit, but it began the process of something that became transformative in my life, of unpacking trauma. Not just this trauma, but a lot of different stuff in my life that, led me to jokingly say in the studio, if I keep writing all these songs about having a drinking problem, I probably should quit drinking soon. And then a couple weeks later, almost died. That's a reoccurring theme in this story too. But and that led to me just quitting drinking, and it's been 2 years next month. And the album got me to that point where I believed in something again, where I had hope in the future that I could take control of this narrative, and I could change it from something of despair and hopelessness to something of resilience. And being able to write it with Bree and with Matt and Gil and the rest of the guys was a really, really cool time. That kind of felt like an emotional exorcism. It really was about that. Maybe things don't ever just get better, but you get stronger, and so it seems lighter. So it may be the same pain, but it changes size. That's the old saying. Just it shifts. And so being able to go through that with this band, and it was like the first thing that we wrote all together, with this, it was kind of the new lineup, and so that's probably my favorite overall song. Or IKEA too. Bree and I wrote that last chorus on the last day of the studio. On like the last take, we didn't have an outro. Bree's like, I have these words. We don't know how to end this song. It's the end of the album. We need some to punch. And so we're sitting outside. We have headphone in each ear, and then I come up with the melody. We slam the words in there. We run inside. We lay it down, and the album's done. And that was just a really cool moment of like her and I operate on a very similar wavelength, creatively. I was trying to say that creatively too. So
you did it.
Yeah, thank you. So I like them all though. I like all of them besides one, but I won't tell you which one because You can't tell your kids which one's your least favorite either.
Yeah.
You know,
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
can't admit it out loud. But one of them I hate. I hate one of them. Just hate it. I think it's trash.
That'll happen. That'll happen.
It does. It does. It does. It does. It does happen.
It does, yeah. I mean, there are plenty of songs that I think I've written that I wish I didn't.
Yeah. I'm just like, can I have this back, please? I could change it. Give me 2 hours in the studio, and I completely change the song, and it'll be so much better. Just to give it back.
It's not that bad. It just kind of sucks, you know. It's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah. That's the feeling. It's just like, yeah, it's terrible, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Nah, fuck it. You know, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We'll do it live.
Yeah. So you brought up Brie. So for anyone that doesn't know, it was in about, I think it was 2020 that you added a second vocalist, Brie, to the Cliffdiver family. Can you tell us what drove that decision and how the band has grown from that?
Yeah, for sure. I think it was a couple different things. It was she's one of the best singers I know. She plays in a different band in Tulsa, here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, called Nightingale, like a neo-Americana band. And I've always been a big fan of her voice and her stage presence. And I knew that she liked, it was like a secret that she secretly liked emo music because she was like playing all these really fancy parties, and like it was all very kind of elegant singer-songwritery vibes. And so I had her come sing on Gas City because I just wanted to have some of my friends come sing on this just silly song that Matt and I had written just to try and bring people's spirits up, you know, and just kind of tell people that things were going to get better eventually. And so Bree sings her part, and you know, it's incredible, of course. And I really felt like I loved being the only front person for a long time. I loved it. I loved having complete control over kind of the narrative and how I wanted the show to go. And but I realized that the band would be better. And I liked the two lead singers. I always have. I've loved Taking Back Sunday. I love Mayday Parade. I love any kind of duality like that. It makes me really happy. Because you never know what's going to come next. Like Blink-182, I loved that. I grew up with two vocalists. Like that's my thing. And so we just asked Brie to take a chance, you know, and I told her, I said, you know, give me a couple of years, give me 2 years, and I promise you we can be doing stuff. I promise you. I see it. You just have to trust that I see it, and it's going to blow people's mind. And she was like, yeah, whatever, let's do it. And so I'm thankful that she did, because it changed everything. It changed the way we do it. It changed the professionalism of the band, obviously the quality and the talent. Just being able to have someone who is as vivacious and is just energetic as what she brings to the table on the live show. Not to mention being a god tier vocalist. She pushes me to be a better vocalist. My range is completely changed in the last 2 years since she joined the band. I'm a way better singer now. And that's because of Brie, because my choice was either get better or look like absolute dog shit every night. Like those are your choices. Either you level up or you're going to be found wanting. You know, you will be measured,
level out,
you will be
buddy.
weighed, you know, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
So, but being able to write with her too, it's great to be able to bring more perspective to the message that we're trying to get out of hope, of resilience, of what it's like just to exist in this time period that seems so hostile for no reason. You know, when it's been pretty cool to go through some of the things we've got to go through the last year, like being at Riot Fest, standing side stage for Taking Back Sunday. Me and her and our manager Joe, and you know, there's 40,000 kids singing "You're So Last Summer," and I'm just like, how is this like? like, how is this my life? Like, this is my favorite band. One of my favorite bands of all time, top 3 of all time. You would have told 17-year-old me that this would be a thing. Like, I remember us walking on stage and us being like, in what life, in what world, in what reality is this possible? Am I just walking up here? And like, I turned to her and I said it then, I'll say it, now, like, we wouldn't be here without you. It's true. It's true. She pushed us to be better because we knew if we couldn't make this work with the level of talent with her and Gil, our second guitarist, who is a great songwriter in his own band as well. We realized we had the pieces, so now it was time just to get to work. And Bree is a motivator and a creator, and helps push an artistic vision and a vibe and all that kind of stuff. And it's much cooler than most of us. But don't tell her I said that.
Oh, we'll make sure she doesn't listen to the podcast too. I'll just send her. I'll send her a message. Hey, don't fucking listen to this, okay?
Or just
she'll probably listen to part of it and then tell me she listened to the whole thing. That's how it works. Bree, if you're still listening at this point, the secret word is banana.
I love it.
I've never done that before, but that's my new podcast thing to see
if she gets through it.
No, but we also do different things. Like with the band, we have very different personalities, and we bring different things to the live show too. And like, I love doing interviews. I love having conversations. I can talk for years about anything. And she sometimes doesn't like to. And that's why I tell her, I go, yeah, there's 2 of us. So don't worry about it. I got it. Like, she's a mom. She's, I'm a dad, not together, but it's like, you get so busy, and it's so nice to have someone else to be able to take some of that pressure off.
Load.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to help carry that vision and that idea forward. And we're super excited.
Oh yeah. Do you have any new music in the works that you're able to talk about?
When's this episode coming out?
July.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, then you'll have heard our 2 new songs. That the one that came out in May, the X-Ray Specs cover, Oh Bondage Up Yours. We're really pumped on that one. We got to record it here in Tulsa. Famously featured Stephen Egerton from the Descendants playing guitar solo there.
Yeah.
And the X-Ray Specs were, a 7-piece punk band with a mixed woman lead singer and a saxophone. So it's like Bree said, if there's ever a band that's going to be able to do it properly, it's us. And so we did, and it's, I think, a good reflection of what kind of a punk side of us. We're always worried that we're too soft. We got narwhals, we got bapabatas. At one point we say my dogs keep me company because girls are the enemy. We're not tough, but we're trying to get tougher. Ever since we got that kind of place in the punk rock museum, we decided we needed to have a little bit more edge to us. So we're trying to be tougher. And then the second song, of course, was FAKE, which is a fake acronym. And so we think that's very funny. It's about how do you grow when you're still stuck with basic inability to take care of yourself. And as you notice that you are aging, noticing the gray in your hair, noticing that you're in your mid-30s, and it's like, I can't even take care of myself, but time is still ticking. And when is that point where I'm going to be able to do the basic things? And it's some of that existential dread, and it kind of leaves it up to the listener. Like, are we only wasting time? And time will waste you out of your control, but on and on it goes. So it's either good or bad. It's however you view it. So we're pumped on both those songs. We're writing our second LP. Obviously, we're talking about the first one.
Yeah.
Soon to be the first in my heart record that we're recording with someone I'm insanely excited to work with, that I don't think I can announce. I'll tell you all when we go recording, though, because we're friends now.
Yes.
For sure. That's
Suck it, listener.
listen.
Just
Listen,
kidding.
that's how it works. I'm all about the homies. Like that's all the music scene is. It's just a coalition of people who are insane like you are.
Yeah, that's like it's been since since I started doing Unsigned Pop Punk, it's been so fun to see like the whole scene grow and watching like bands that I had on my like our very first ever playlist and stuff, and seeing where they are now 2 years later and just being like, this is cool. Like I love to see like all of these friendships that we've all made in this great community.
Yeah, and that's I think it is overall a really beautiful scene we have.
Mhm.
And I think it's a real pleasure to be a part of it. I mean, being able to see people once, twice a year and getting those huge mega hugs like in different cities from your
Yeah.
fam. There's nothing like it. Seeing your other friends who are, when they roll through your city, bleary eyed, hopped up on coffee, and you're like, keep going, dude, you got it.
You got this.
Only 20 days left on this run. Keep going.
Oh,
Sorry, there's only 8 people here on a Tuesday, but what are you gonna do?
Let's go. Let's give these 8 people a show.
Let's get them shirts. Come on.
Yeah, oh yeah, they all need to leave with shirts.
That's the way.
Absolutely. So you're just actually talking about like shows and touring. Speaking of that, you've got some really rad shows coming up from Sad Summerfest. Some of the dates on that. Gonna play some shows with Michael Sarah Palin and Hot Mulligan. What are some of your favorite places to play in the United States? We'll keep it local to our continental.
Well, we haven't. We're going to be playing outside the U.S. for the first time this summer in July. Later this month with Michael Sarah Palin and Carpool. We're playing in Toronto and Montreal.
All right.
I'm super psyched. We're taking it international, baby.
Let's go.
Rock and roll. And I've never been to either city, and I'm super pumped to eat some poutine and stuff like that. But we've pretty much played most cities once at this point. Not most cities, but a lot of cities. But my favorites probably, we always have fun in Austin for the most part. Those shows usually go really hard. We played the Mohawk down there, really nice small room that gets so disgustingly hot. Everyone's just drenched in sweat. It's awesome. I love that. We played this also with Michael Sarah Palin last year. We played this house venue in Atlanta called Bon House.
Okay.
It was like 100 cap house, 1-story house. There were kids crowd surfing in a 1-story room. And it was just the most wild, like in your face, old school house show. And that scene was so alive and so vibrant. It was so cool to see that kind of thing. And also, we love Florida and everywhere, dude. It's a privilege for me, for someone who never really got to travel much.
Yeah,
because I was always like really irresponsible. Still am, but was too.
Yeah, sure.
And the old Mitch Hedberg right there. But
an elevator,
used to do drugs.
Escalator, was it? An escalator can never actually be out of order. It can only
sorry for the
temporarily stairs. Sorry for the convenience. Yeah,
the best of all time. But now I'm too into my I forgot what I was saying. I was too Mitch Hedberg now. He's my favorite. So I was like, yes, you know the quotes.
I love Mitch Hedberg. Love him.
Oh, everywhere we get to play, it's really cool because even getting to see back roads in godforsaken Texas or Kansas or driving through Idaho, it's really cool just to be able to go on adventures. Like I'm 35 and still getting to just be an adventurer, a navigator. Like that's usually what I do in the van. I got the maps up and I'm getting us to where we're supposed to be going. It's the dad in me, the eldest in the van too. I'm like, listen, I'm at the gas station going, dude, we seriously have 2 minutes. Get out of line for Starbucks. Get out of line for Starbucks. We do not have time. We're 3 hours away.
Put it back.
No, just get out of here.
Yeah. Did you pee?
Someone has to do it.
Pee? We need to go.
Dude, how are you just coming in here right now? You don't have time. You missed your shot. Yeah. But
You're peeing in a
even
bottle
then, it's
now.
like,
Sorry.
yeah, it's great. It's great. Like I got to see so many things. I'd never been to Manhattan before last year. I'd never been to San Francisco. Being able to stand on each coast because of the music we're playing was amazing. It was so cool. It was so
Yeah.
cool to be in the Pacific and the Atlantic and know that the music, some songs that we wrote brought us here. And for July, we're doing like 9,000 miles, something like that, from Oklahoma to Florida to Canada to Texas, then to California and back. But I can't wait. I
Hell yeah.
absolutely can't wait. I mean, if you would have told me 3 years ago we'd be playing shows with Hot Mulligan, Michael Sarah Palin, Mom Jeans, Taking Back Sunday, Paris, like all summer, get to play shows with Andrew McMahon and fucking Motion City Soundtrack, like no way. No way. So it's all still such an adventure. So really anywhere we get to play that somebody gives a shit about our music is my favorite room.
Hell yeah.
Might be cheesy, but that's just how it is. Fight
I
me.
like it. I support it.
We got one more question before we go to a quick break. If you could give our listeners a piece of advice that you know now that you wish you knew when you were first starting out, what would it be?
Don't be so hard on yourself. Like you are trying something new. You don't know what you're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. That's the secret. Nobody knows what they're doing. Everybody feels like they don't belong. If anybody tells you otherwise, they are lying to you. Like we got to go on tour with some big bands last year, and I remember talking to Jarrett from Bowling for Soup backstage, and I'm like, "Does it ever go away?" And he's like, "No, no, no, it never does." Like, the man's Grammy nominated, and he still feels like a fake every night. And so embrace that. Embrace the
Right.
fact that no one knows what they're doing, and you just do it. Just do it. If you want to do it, just do it. Write the songs. They might suck at first, but who cares? I used to get so mad. I wasted so much time being pissed at myself when I'd watch old videos when we first started out. And I was a drunk mess on stage, 40 pounds overweight, yelling and throwing myself all over the place. Just a mess. But I look at it now and go, man, but he was trying. He was
Yeah.
trying something different. And he had no idea what he was doing. He was scared.
He's going
But
for it.
you just go for it. And hell, if you go for it with authenticity, true vulnerability in your song crafting, then I think people can just sense that. So put yourself out there for real. Don't just try and write some slick and write it over and over and over. You got to get the bad verses out before the good ones come. Sometimes we'll write a verse 40 times. We wrote the chorus to that new song 4 times in the studio after we'd already written it about 9 times. I'm in the booth and we're changing words in between, like they're in the other room going, try sphere here, try sphere at the end of that. And so we're like it never stops. So don't be so hard on yourself. Like just do what makes you happy. And if making music makes you happy, then do it. Don't let anybody hold you back, especially yourself. That's stupid. Don't be dumb. Don't do that. You're better than that.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
Just do it. Nike.
Just do it. Copyright Cliffdiver. Just do it.
It's yours. It's yours now.
2023. When's that go in the public domain? Is it good? Are we good? Are we good?
I think isn't public domain like 100 years? I think Nike's got it for a while.
And Shia LaBeouf has got his whole video of yelling at people. Shia LaBeouf has his whole video too of just yelling at people to do it.
Oh yeah, just do it. Yeah.
And then the Emperor from Star Wars going, do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's my advice.
I love it.
Great advice.
Thanks.
Now you just got me thinking. I was just started thinking of,
There's the Ben Stiller one where he's like,
domain. Do it. No, it also like what Sly Stallone has one of those too. He's like, just do it already.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
Oh, Schwarzenegger too in Predator. He's like, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Come on.
Come on, kill me. Kill me!
Come on. Cover the nuts so he cannot see me.
Cliffdiver Joey's going into that echelon of people of just do it now.
There we go. I love it.
The Mount Rushmore of do it.
The Mount Rushmore of just do it.
Hey, let's do it.
There we go. And with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our next segment. What's up, friends? We're super stoked to tell you that we just partnered with GFUEL. And let me tell you, there is no more pop punk beverage on the market right now than GFUEL. GFUEL keeps you energized, focused, and hydrated. If you go to gfuel.com right now and use code UnsignedPopPunk, you're going to save 20% off your entire order. You can get it in the tub form and have 40 freaking servings of flavors like Rick and Morty's Unstable Portal Fluid, which is a delicious strawberry limeade, or get something in the can form like Sonic's Peach Rings or Crash Bandicoot's Wumpa Fruit. Go to gfuel.com and check it out for yourself. Let us know what your favorite flavor is. And once again, don't forget to use our code UnsignedPopPunk to save 20%. It's a heck of a deal, man.
Do you love music videos and miss when MTV, VH1, and Fuse all actually played music videos? Then join me, Giddy, as I host a super awesome music video show on Twitch every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Unsigned Pop Punk Twitch channel. We play the best videos from up-and-coming pop punk, emo, alternative music in the scene, so join us every Thursday and find your new favorite band.
And we're back. Now it's time for the always favorite food for thought segment. You know, we're done talking about music. It's time for the real hard-hitting questions. Everybody wants to know about food.
Everybody.
So, first question. You've been on the road for weeks and you're starting to feel like you're missing home. What food are you having to remind you of home? Yeah.
It's a good question. There's not really any staples in Oklahoma that you can't get anywhere else, you know, so I eat the same Taco Bell and Whataburger and when we're in the South. And I try not to, but I'd say, you know, sushi reminds me of home.
Okay.
I only ever eat sushi at home, so it's like the classier, like when I have a disposable income, when I have a couple extra bucks, I'm not buying it at a gas station. But it's like the splurge meal when you're like, I want to feel fancy, I want to feel like I'm having something nice. Reminds me of home, even though Oklahoma is not like an international sushi hotspot.
I mean, when I think sushi, I think Tulsa, Oklahoma is the
no. Listen, Reese's, they're a like grocery store. They have really good $5 sushi.
Nice.
On Wednesdays, I might get some after this.
There you go.
Low key. Yeah, probably that. But also, like, I don't really get homesick. I'm ready to keep going. I don't ever want to. Like, I like time alone from the other 7 people in my band.
Sure.
But I'm like, I want to try all the different foods. I want to eat every food from every city. I want to get all the Phillies in Philadelphia. Like, I've had 3 of them. I'm trying to try them all and see which one's the best. Nice. That's the goal. I want to have all the spots. I want to be like, you're in Maryland? Okay, you go here, get this crab cake, thank me. That's my love language. So I like these questions. This is where the action is.
I'm all about that too. Like, I want to go to the hot spots when I'm gone. Like, if all that's around is like Taco Bell and McDonald's, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll fuck with Taco Bell just about any damn day. But
sure,
that's not the goal.
You can get those $2 grilled chicken burritos now. Really not that bad for you at all, comparatively. Real low sugar. But yes, I agree. And the answer so far in Philadelphia is Ish Kabibbles 2 as the best Philly.
Okay.
It's across the street from Jim's, but
I think
it is
I've only
much better.
had Jim's.
Jim's was fine. Jim's
Yeah.
was fine. It was a good sandwich, but man, Ishkabibbles brought that heat. That heat. It was real good.
Nice.
So, kind of going off of that, then, since your favorite food is kind of wherever you're at, do you have any memorable tour food stories that you're like, man, every time I think of, Rhode Island, I think of this place?
Without pissing off the city of St. Louis, let me preference this by saying I love St. Louis, and I will eat this pizza next time I'm there with you in solidarity. But the first time we were playing at the Chuck Berry's Duck Room or whatever in St. Louis, nice little rock and roll club.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we got pizza for you guys in the green room, and it's this pizza called Emo's Pizza.
Okay.
IMO.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're like, Emo's Pizza for the emo show. And we're like, hell yeah. And it was the worst. Velveeta cheese on the pizza. Like it was
Oof.
it was better cold than it was hot. And that's all you need to know about that. But they were all like, this is the best pizza you've ever had. Like it's legendary.
Yeah, I was like, Emo's is a staple.
Yeah, it's like the thing.
Yeah,
and it's just it shouldn't be.
maybe it was just an off day.
That's what I'm saying. I'm willing to give it another shot when we're there next month with Free Throw and Hot Mulligan. I'm willing to eat Emo's Pizza with you, St. Louisians. St. Louisians? That's got to be it. I like it.
That's what it is.
We're good.
I'm trying to think, but I can't think of anything else you would go with. Like that.
Right?
That's what rolls off the tongue.
That's it. We don't even need to know.
That's it.
It's fine.
Yep, that's
St.
it.
Louisians.
Louisians.
And probably, but there's this place in Gainesville we like to go whenever we're at fest called Grubs. Really nice. They have really nice salads.
Oh.
And I just remember we all freaked out about. We all had these giant salads. We're all like, dude, bro, try my salad.
Yeah, we got some greens, man.
Right. Or anytime we get to meet up with our booking agent and he buys us a meal on the agency. Those are my favorite meals.
Anywhere that's at.
Dude, we ate at this restaurant in Austin. When I saw that bill, I cried. Like it was stupid, but I had the best red fish. It was just red fish. And it was the best fish I've ever had in my life. And the price was insane, but it was the best fish. And so Austin, redfish. Don't know the name of the restaurant, doesn't matter. That's the spot.
That spot. I love that. So this is our last food for thought question. You have the opportunity to create the Cliffdiver menu at your favorite fast food restaurant. Which spot are you picking and what goes into the meal?
Oh. It's the hard-hitting journalism here.
Yeah, these are the questions the people really want to know.
Really
Joe.
Getting into the deepest parts of my psyche here.
I'm trying to just dig at your soul right now.
Yeah. No, it's working. I would say we would be one of those big ass box of tacos from Taco Bell.
Okay.
That's what we'd be. Because there's so many of us, and you can get all different kinds of tacos. You can get Doritos Locos tacos. You can get soft tacos. You can mix it up in that party pack. And there's like 20 of them. And according to the commercials, if you show up with them to a party, people are just going to be like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Which is the case. Like if I'm ever at a party and someone's like, yo, I brought Taco Bell for everyone, you'd be like, yes, you're the coolest.
You can call it the dive box.
Yeah, the diver dinner, you know what I mean? And it'd have a little bit of everything. So it'd really be a sampler. So you'd have like 10 tacos. Then you'd have the grilled cheese burrito.
Okay, sure.
And then you'd have the chalupa crunch for, the one, or the Gorditos crunch.
Yeah.
Cheesy Gorditos crunch.
Cheesy Gordita crunch. So this is it's a box. So it's almost kind of like Olive Garden's tour of Italy.
Yeah, it's like a briefcase of Taco Bell.
Okay.
It's like an attaché.
And it comes in a cardboard looking briefcase.
Yeah, huge, just too much. There's a crunch wrap, a breakfast crunch wrap in there, and just the biggest Baja Blast you've ever seen in your life. So you can get Baja blasted.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the diver dinner.
I love it.
I want the diver dinner. That sounds.
I will destroy a diver dinner.
I want it right now. I got Papa John's for dinner, and it was disappointing.
I had me and my wife made macaroni and cheese and hot dogs like cut into it. Like we went youthful.
That's
today.
Classic.
Yeah, it was great. We didn't even make it for the kids. This was for us.
Sometimes you gotta do something nice for yourself, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, treat yourself, you know? 2 boxes. Went all in.
Oh man.
Went all.
This is the way.
I didn't eat it all, but but now I got leftovers.
Well, send me some.
All right. You got it. It's coming in the mail. Get ready
put it
for
in the mail.
It's in the
It'll
mail.
be good.
I'll throw it in one of our little merch bags, you know? Like,
Right. Perfect.
it's
Perfect.
so squishy.
Bring it to band practice. What do you eat?
Hey, guys.
Don't worry about it.
It's like that episode of It's Always Sunny where he's
That's what I'm saying. What's your spaghetti policy?
Yeah, what's your spaghetti policy?
No, I was just wondering what your spaghetti policy was.
Got spaghetti in a bag. Oh. Well, watching that one tonight. Okay. I pretty much watch at least an episode of It's Always Sunny almost every day at this point.
Do you watch their podcast?
Oh, it's great. I haven't caught up on the last couple episodes, but I love it.
It's made me really reappreciate the earlier stuff, but then also like it's got me really excited for the new season. It really sounds like by doing this podcast, they've reconnected with some of the earlier madness of the show, and so I'm pumped to see where they go now that they got Marta and Roselle back in the writers' room.
Yeah, it is. I think that show is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah, it's on my Rushmore with like Arrested Development and Seinfeld and probably Psych.
Psych, okay. I never checked out Psych.
Very, very, very funny.
Nice.
If you just have to, that's one of those ones you just go with it. And if you just go with it, it'll make you laugh really hard and make you feel good inside.
Nice.
I would highly recommend.
I did get really into Lost when that was out.
Yeah.
I got a Lost tattoo. Got the Dharma Initiative logo, you know.
J.J. Abrams still doesn't know to end that show. It's been 15 years and he still hasn't figured it out. What was the smoke monster, JJ's? Like it was your dreams, your wishes. It was the character's psyche. They've been dead in karma, purgatory. Shit. I don't know. Look at Star Trek. I did Star Trek. Look at all the lens frames. It's fine.
It's the thing. The show Lost is like music, man. You just interpret it how you're gonna fucking interpret it.
The first 4 seasons are pretty flawless television.
It's great. Mm-hmm.
So the Not Penny's Boat, one of the most pivotal moments of television I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just ripped my soul out.
Yep. Oh. All right. I don't need to cry right now. We're moving on to the rapid fire questions segment.
Friendships will be tested. Rapid fire questions.
You're just gonna speak from the heart, like you've already been doing. You're gonna shoot from the hip. All right. Mountain Dew or Mellow Yellow?
Mountain Dew.
Horror or comedy movies?
Horror comedy.
Nah, yeah, there you go. Do you still listen to the radio?
Yes, all the time.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, I get bored of the same 35 songs on Spotify that it gives me in different order
Sure.
every other day. So,
So
usually the classical station.
So you sub that with the same 35 songs from the radio?
No, that's why I listen to classical station. And they have like 400 years to pull from. So usually it's a little bit more dynamic.
See, the only reason I say that though is because I actually my car broke down, so I was driving my wife's car, and she only had she didn't have Bluetooth and stuff. You know, it was very archaic, right? And so I was just listening to the radio, and I swear for like that whole week, I only listened to the classic rock station or whatever, our oldies station. But I swear to God, I just listened to the same songs over and over. It was like once you heard it for the one day, that's how every day was going to be.
Yeah, and there's like 40 years of classic rock that they're pulling from, and somehow it's still the same 15 classic rock songs.
It's about 50, you know. You're going to swap out about 50 songs.
Next up is Freebird, then Free Ride, then Slow Ride, followed by The Boys Are Back in Town and Smoking in the Boys Room.
Yeah.
And then we start over.
We're gonna throw you for a loop. Here's Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Or the other day it was like, who was it? It was someone. It was like Pearl Jam or somebody was on a classic rock station. I was like, no. No.
Oh,
it's not classic rock.
Yep, it is now, man. It's
don't
20 years old.
Yeah, it was. Oh, and then Smells Like Teen Spirit was on. Tulsa's classic rock, and I was like, screw you, dude. And then I realized it was like 30 years ago.
I know. I'm like, oh,
neat.
Okay,
neat.
Yeah, awesome. Old school. Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon?
Cartoon. 90s Nickelodeon. Now Cartoon Network. I don't even know what's on Nickelodeon anymore. It'd be weird for me to watch it now.
Yeah, I mean, I only watch like classic Nickelodeon. It's all on Paramount. It's great. Been watching a lot.
Yeah, like Angry Beavers, big fan. All that era of madness.
I'm looking for some Legends of the Hidden Temple. Haven't watched any of it yet, though.
I heard they were bringing that back.
I think they did, and it got canceled. Like, I think it was something that they brought back a while ago, and it didn't stick.
I need to get a Blue Barracuda shirt.
The Gray Monkeys.
They gotta not be that expensive.
I can't imagine they would be too tough. I'm sure like T Public or something has them.
I have no doubt. That's a good point. That's a good idea. I'm gonna go there later, actually.
There you go. Thin crust or regular crust pizza?
Stuffed crust.
Oh,
nice.
That's the right answer. Lindsay Lohan or Tara Reid?
Lindsay Lohan. Easy.
All
day. All day. I love you, Lindsay.
Newfound Glory or MXPX?
Newfound Glory.
All right. This is the last one. It's going to pull from your jingles knowledge. Can you sing for us the O'Reilly Auto Parts jingle?
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Wow.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. You did.
My son will randomly sing that, and I'm like,
stop.
They got you, and you don't even know it. Or he'll be doing like the Burger King song, that double or triple double or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just like, let's go to Burger King, Dad. I'm like, God, they have you. It's too late.
We're just talking about this. I think it was on yesterday's podcast interview we did, that Burger King is the only like fast food restaurant that there's like no quality control. Like every Burger King is different, and they're usually all bad. I like Burger King though.
It is a rarity, I think, often to get like really good Burger King anymore. Right. It used to not be the way.
Right.
I mean, I love a good BK Stacker. It takes me back to college. They put a Burger King in at University of Arkansas in our food court, and every day I would take my Razor Bucks and I would buy 3 triple stackers because the stacker sauce was so good.
Yeah.
and I would just jam them down my gullet, and I was thin and jacked, and then it all caught up. All the stackers caught up sophomore year.
Yeah, because then you upgraded to the triple whopper. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Then I like didn't leave my dorm for a month and a half when I watched all of Sopranos and only ate pizza. I'd be walking around campus, be like, "Yo, hey, what's going on here, you guys?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" But I was a theater major, so most of the time they were just like, "Whatever, Joey, whatever, man."
Are you just getting
And be
ready
like,
for
"It's
a
a
role?
play. It's a play. Don't worry.
You're just getting
It's
ready
fine.
for a role.
We're doing Death of a Salesman. That's I could have been. That's on the waterfront. Never mind.
Yeah, I could have been a contender.
I could have been somebody. I don't know anything from Death of a Salesman.
I don't know.
Just that it's sad. Isn't the whole thing that he kills himself? Isn't
I
that
think
like
so.
the whole thing is like life is meaningless? So he's like, that's the American dream.
American
Huzzah!
dream right there.
Huzzah! That's Cliffdiver. Except at the end we go, but don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't.
I get it, but you better not.
Don't you do it, or I'll
I'm not.
spank
So
that
you
bottom.
can't. I'm not. So if you want me to, I'll do it. But you better not.
Don't you do it. I like it. Yep. Somebody's got to be that way, you know.
I think it's our job as musicians in a society that's been failed by all its institutions to tell people that things can get better, to hope for a world where things aren't as bad. And even if it is fanciful, it's an age-old tradition of storytelling to keep people's hope alive. And I think that's an important thing that we do, and it's a task that I know all of us in Cliffdiver take really seriously. We love our fans, we love our people, and we really want to be that music you can turn on and fight off those bad thoughts with me screaming about being sad or Bree singing really pretty. So it's a great thing.
Hell yeah. Well, Joey, you did it. Finished the podcast. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Now's your chance. You can let everybody know what you got going on, where they can find you. What's next?
Absolutely. If you want to go to cliffdiverok.com, you can find all our upcoming shows. We're probably in your area or will be soon. You can find our merch, our music, a link to our music videos. We're Cliffdiver OK on all of our socials. On Twitter and Instagram are the main ones. Nobody really uses Facebook. We do to talk to other musicians. And that's about it. But we're trying to play as many shows as we can, and we're probably on the road right now, and we'd love to see you. So come by and tell us you heard this episode, and we'll give you a free sticker at the merch table.
Hell yeah.
I
love
done.
That.
Too easy. And we love you. We love all y'all, and we love you guys on the show. We love what y'all do, and we're really just feel very grateful to be a part of this scene and this family and culture, and being able to leave a little bit of an impact and try and leave it a little bit better than we found it. That's the name of the game. So we appreciate what y'all are doing.
We appreciate the hell out of you. So thank you. Thanks so much again, Joey, for hanging out. Matt and I. Now we're going to hop into the Unsigned Pop Punk News. And so here's that jingle. And it's time for Unsigned Pop Punk News. If you've ever been here, this is just cool. It's cool. This is a cool part. We just talk about things we got going on.
The best part.
It was really super stoked to get to chat with Joey from Cliffdiver today. It was awesome.
What a rad dude.
Super
fucking rad dude.
Super rad. What was your favorite part of tonight's show? What are your thoughts on this week's topics? You got any Cliffdiver stories? Let us know what you got. We want to hear from you. Join our Discord. Let's chat about it. Click the link in the description, the bio, wherever. Click the link wherever it is. It's there.
Send the pigeon singles up. They'll tell you where to go. Just go to the bio. The pigeon signals.
The pigeon signals.
I don't know, man. It's been a long day.
Matt, why don't you tell them about our gender equality shirts?
You know, a pigeon told me that you should also. It's a terrible transition.
Well,
We're doing it live though.
we're doing it live.
But I've told you every week now, and you need to listen to me because you are not rad enough without a gender equality shirt. And our gender equality shirt is the best gender equality shirt. It says gender equality is dope as fuck. And it's got the fucking Scully emoji in there.
Yeah.
Logo emoji, whatever it is.
Logo.
But
Yeah.
the best part about that shirt is that 15%, that's 1-5 for those of you who like individual numbers. 15% of every sale of that shirt goes to support the Trevor Project. And if you've never heard of the Trevor Project, you really should look them up. Their goal and their mission is to end suicide among LGBTQ youth and kids. So help us in supporting an amazing cause and support saving young LGBTQ lives.
Absolutely. I mean, we can't do this without y'all and your support. So help us support them. Nothing too much. Well, I mean, what's this, July? I'm assuming we're pretty far in this week, the punk rock flea market at this point.
I hope we know. I hope we know.
So, since it's August 19th.
I hope so.
But at the time of this recording, we are still just finalizing everything. But if it's July, I would hope that you'll have already started seeing posts about it. So look for it.
Talking
if you like stuff, come hang out. Yeah. So many cool festivals this year. I don't think we're probably going to be making it out to any of them, but make sure that you go out and support all the bands at any of the fests going on near you, whether it's Riot Fest, Furnace Fest, Four Chord Festival, or even some like a smaller one like our punk rock flea market or any of the local ones going on in your area. Make sure you're hitting up those local shows and going out and showing your support, because that's what it's all about. Go make friends.
Support your scene.
Go support your scene. Twitch news. Twitch. We do Twitch, baby. Every Tuesday, we got New Music Friday on Tuesday, so you can have a fantastic listen party with us as we listen to all of the new music that came out the week before. So all the stuff that came out Friday or earlier on in the week, we're going to listen to it on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then Wednesday, you got the top 10 video countdown. Go vote for your favorite music video. You can go to unsignedpoppunk.com to do that. And that show is every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then we've got every Thursday the super awesome music video show live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Get to see some of the best up-and-coming best music videos from some of the best up-and-coming bands in the scene today. And you can do that on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/unsignedpoppunk. And y'all, that's the way the news goes. Thanks everybody for everything that everybody does. But thank you to Joey from Cliffdiver for hanging out with us today. It was so freaking awesome. It was really great to meet him. I want to be friends in real life. Let's be friends. This is great. Yeah, he's got beautiful hair. Matt, thank you for being my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do for me and Unsigned Pop Punk. Thank you, Gibby, for being the hostess with the mostest and all the other rad shit that you do. Thank you so much to Lawrence for making all of our art and making Unsigned Pop Punk look as cool as it possibly ever could. And thank you to the listeners for supporting everything we do and listening to this podcast and going out to shows and watching our Twitch shows and helping us grow, because without you, we ain't nothing. So thank you all so much. Love you. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for checking out the show. Please hit that like, subscribe, or follow button so you never miss an episode. And thank you so much to those of you who already are. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or anywhere else you stream your podcasts. If you're in the position to help us grow and like behind the scenes access and exclusive shows, head on over to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/unsignedpoppunk. Let us know in the comments who you'd like to see on the show and what other content you'd like to see. Thank you all so much.